Welcome to the third episode of the Titan Talk podcast, as we are coming back after a loss, one-score loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. Titans could have won that game. We're going to be diving into all that here in just a little bit. It was a pretty good game to watch to some degree. There was some mishaps we had going on there. What was your thoughts on the game, Sean?
It was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I think I predicted like 30-7 Chargers, and it ended up being 20-27. So the Titans definitely could have won this game for sure. The offense got to improve. It's like our points only come from special teams. I'm sick of that.
And the defensive pick six.
That pick six was amazing for Cody Martin. I didn't think I ever heard his name on a goddamn intercom, but yeah, man. So I think it was close. I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I think Cody Barton is really, he's really undervalued and underrated. I think he is a really good linebacker for this team, and I think hopefully he'll stay here for the long term of his rest of his career. I think he's a pretty solid linebacker. The Titans, they looked really good defensively. They had around 6 sacks, I believe. They had a really good game sack-wise. Had that interception, and defense played amazing. What was your thoughts on the defense, Sean?
Man, they played absolutely phenomenal. Finally, because compared to last week with the Colts, they just kept running the ball on us. That stopped, you know what I'm saying? Now the pass game, okay, yeah, but they was holding off Justin Herbert from throwing deep bombs, you know what I'm saying? So it was pretty well for the defense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now we're going to dive into the 3 key takeaways for this week. We have our first key takeaway. We have the first one I have is there was a lot of improvement by the players this week since last week against the Colts. Chimere DK looked amazing this week. Cam looked better this week. Pollard has his moments, and then Tajay had his moments. I think he had a better game last week, but Spears did show up today, or that yesterday. But I think overall it was a good team effort this week, and they really showed they could put up a fight with a really tough team like the Los Angeles Chargers this week. But moving into the second key takeaway, we have the defense played amazing. We already went over it. Defense looked great this week. I think a lot of that has to do with the Chargers' offensive line going down, the majority of it. But I do think they played great this week. Moving into our third key takeaway, I do think the coaching did cost the Titans this game this week.
For sure.
Due to not going for it on certain fourth downs, to apparently all of a sudden falling in love with the wildcat formation for this week. We called 5 plays of wildcat for some odd reason. We call wildcat on the 1-yard line when we could score a touchdown. All you can do is quarterback sneak it. It's almost a guaranteed touchdown. You direct snap the ball to Tajay Spears. What's he going to do at the 1-yard line? I mean, just get the guaranteed touchdown. You don't have to do it all fancy and spectacular like that. Just get the job done. If they would have got that touchdown this week, I think they would have won this game. I think the Titans probably played a better game than the Chargers all around. Yeah. Defensively was amazing. But I do think if there is a little bit more better play calling and coaching, I think the Titans would have won this game. What is your thoughts on that?
Man, yeah, like you said, the Wildcat, it's ridiculous. When Brian Callahan was here, did he ever call Wildcat here?
I've seen like two plays that I remember off the top of my head. I know Vrabel liked it.
As consistent as it was today.
No.
Yesterday. So what was the plan there? That was retarded. Like, Tajay Spears, what he gonna do? He's not Derrick Henry gonna throw the ball like Derrick Henry used to do. He's not that. Like, just let them push like the Eagles would do. Or you say, can we sneak?
I think we called Wildcat like 5 times. It was crazy, and it didn't matter. We had Tony Pollard getting the ball. We had Tajay Spears getting the ball. I don't know if they thought that would be a difference, but that's not going to work. Yeah. Cam Ward, as much as he's a great player, he cannot be an offensive lineman.
Exactly.
He's not that size. He can't block linebacker like whoever they got, like Khalil Mack, if he was even playing. I don't even remember. But he can't guard people like that.
No.
I don't know where they got that mindset at.
Why are we trying to get fancy and we're down?
We're 1-8.
That's what we're 1-8. Like, at this point, the coaching is sabotaging this team. The offensive coaching is sabotaging
I think it has all year.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. Like, if Cam Ward, I'm pretty sure he didn't agree on that play at all, both times, whatever. But that's insane. Like, why are we getting fancy versus a team like the Chargers? They're not the Raiders. They're not the Saints. They're not these other teams who are terrible. They're the Chargers. Like, what are we doing? So the coaching just gotta get better. It has to get better.
Yeah, you got to just imagine what Cam Ward was thinking in his head when he heard that in his ear call. We're going to run Wildcat, 3rd and 1 from the 1 yard line, Cam. Get ready. This is going to be a touchdown. We got this.
Yeah, like, but I guess he has no say-so. He has no say-so on his offense. And, I guess Mike McCoy is on the work and Bo Hardegree.
Or attempt to work.
Or attempt, yeah. Hardegree's trash. It's time to go.
I think that's really cost a lot on Cam Ward's part. I think Hardegree is missing out on his quarterback coaching time with Cam, helping in his development. I think that him calling the offensive plays, I think just give it up to somebody else. At this point, like, what's there to lose? Because just see what works for you game-wise. Because I wouldn't mind seeing Mike McCoy call plays on offense. I know
you sure?
That might.
I don't know what that clown calling plays. Because he clearly agreed with what the plays Hardegree calling. So he agreed to do Wildcat 5 times, and it does not work for any reason. And especially on the goal line, we're trying to get some points on the board. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? This is the first game I actually thought was going to actually, like, win. This game was so winnable. This game was so winnable versus the Chargers. Like, come on now. Like, and what happened? We just blow it. So.
Like, what does Nick Holtz even do at this point? He's offensive coordinator, and he's supposed to be the one calling the plays, but give him the play calling duties. That's his job. What is he doing?
What's going to happen when Callahan was let go? We thought, or before he got let go, we thought he was going to be the play caller. Like, Callahan was like, okay, I'm stepping down play caller, give it a part.
As soon as he said that sentence, I almost 100% thought it was going to be, I'm giving Nick Holtz play calling duties. And when I heard Bo Hardegree for a second, it took me like, who in the world is that?
I didn't know who that was either.
And then after doing some recalibrating, I was like, what?
QB coach, right?
Yeah.
It's disgrace. Like, are we going to win another game this year? Like, are we? I don't know.
Now we are going to move into our next segment of this episode. We're going to move into our discussion post on who is the biggest what could have been player in Titans history. Is it Will Levis? Is it Marcus Mariota? Is it Jake Locker? We will dive into your comments here in just a little bit as we will talk about who's the biggest what could have been Titans player in history. Now we are going to move into the weekly discussion post on how we are talking about who is the biggest what could have been player for the Tennessee Titans. We're going to be going over your guys' thoughts, your comments that y'all post on the discussion post. We're going to be going over our thoughts on your comments and who we think is the biggest what could have been player for the Titans. Moving into the first comment, we have Titan Report Podcast, as he said Marcus Mariota if he worked out. I agree with you. I think Mariota, he could have been an amazing quarterback coming out of college with that amazing season. I think injuries just cost him his job here in Tennessee. Injuries hurt his whole career. I think he could have been franchise quarterback for this team, but things didn't end up going that way.
I agree with that point for sure. He had very high expectations coming to Tennessee, and I think he did his job when he was here for the most part of it. You know what I'm saying? Take us to the playoffs, then the championship game. So he did his job for most of it, but
more than what Will Levis has ever done.
Yeah, he's not getting a job here. He's gonna be gone. Traded Will Levis too. I don't care what you do with Will Levis, but it's pretty cool seeing Marcus Mariota still play in the NFL to this day. Because I mean, after the Titans let him go, I thought he was done. I didn't think he'll play again. I ain't gonna say anything lie, but yeah.
That's a really good point. Moving into the next comment, we have one Titans fan, 2024. He said, here's what I will say about Marcus. Or here's what I'll say about Marcus Mariota. He was good during some games, but if we ever made the playoffs, he would kind of be mid. However, I will say if we get him back and have him retire as a Titan, I would not be mad at him starting for one season, maybe half a season, let Cam Ward develop a little bit. And then he replied to himself and said, I don't know if this is a bad take or not, but whenever I would watch Marcus Mariota, he would make some stupid decisions. I would only want him back if he can make smart decisions.
if you think he's going to make smart decisions coming back to Tennessee, you're a fool. We don't have the all-line. We don't have the coaching staff to do that. And, bringing Cam Ward here was a great idea. But look who on the sideline. Brain-dead coaches who don't know what they're doing. Like, it just, at this point, we're just hiring people and then you just don't fire them. So I think after the season over with, this coaching staff is going to be completely different.
It has to be.
I think, what's his name, John, special team coordinator? I think he's going to stay, and Denard Wilson might stay. But everybody else, they just got to go.
John Fassel, I think he should have been interim head coach.
That's what everybody was saying, yeah. But Mike McCord had experience as a head coach. But when he's talking about his press conferences, it just... You better turn it off because he don't talk about nothing. It's bad, so.
All right, moving into the next comment, we have Hurricane Allen saying the way it's going with the coaches, I would say Cam Ward, but probably Marcus Mariota. I agree. Cam Ward's not having a great time here in Tennessee starting out. It's not totally his fault. He's got people around him who's not performing to the best of their ability. We got coaches not performing to the best of their ability. Coaches, I think, are a big part of that. I think coaches do need to step up, but I mostly agree with your take, Alan.
Yeah, I agree for sure. But, what did y'all expect? When we drafted Cam Ward, this team wasn't going to get no better. That was just the first part of building this team anyway. So, we still need the O-line, still need receivers. Now we need cornerbacks. So it's just we're just in a deeper hole, like we said last week. Deeper hole. But I think Cam will have a future here, hopefully. So
hopefully, I think he's on the right track. If his whole situation around him improves.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next comment, we have On the Rock Weather, aka Boston, our audio guy. He said definitely Isaiah Wilson in the 2020 draft. He went first round and only played 4 snaps for the team and was released for off the field matters and lack of commitment. Could have been an asset to the team. I agree with you. I think Isaiah Wilson could have been an amazing player for this team with his huge upside that he had with Georgia. He was a great offensive lineman before the NFL stuff happened. I think if he cared about his job, I think that would have turned out to be a really good. And if you think about it, we was just coming off of the AFC Championship run. We drafted Isaiah Wilson. That could have been the start of a dynasty, but that people could argue that's what could have started the Titans' downfall. But I agree with you, Boston.
I agree with that too. Nate. You just said Isaiah Wilson, he was pretty good, as I thought, and then everybody had a downfall. Man, it seemed like nobody stays here for long. And
he just quit. It felt like.
Yeah,
I remember the Titans had a game. I think it was against the Broncos in Colorado. And we seen a report come out before the game saying Isaiah Wilson, who was expected to start that game, he was in Miami at a party in Miami, Florida. So,
wow.
I think character needs to. I think it has been. I think it needs to continue being a big part in the scouting for the drafting going forward.
Yeah.
But moving into our next comment from Scobie Bryant 24 saying Cam Ward is a tough champion.
Scobie, you're hilarious.
Crazy. That's crazy. But moving on to our opinions on who is the biggest, what could have been Titans player in history, I am going to go with Marcus Mariota or Will Levis. I think either one could have been great. I think coaching ruined Levis to a degree. I think a lot of it was on him and not wanting to have surgery for some odd reason. But I'd say I'll go with Marcus Mariota.
Biggest Titans player history?
No, what's the biggest, what could have been player in Titans history?
Oh, Will Levis, for sure. I think Will Levis.
Over Mariota?
Mariota had higher expectations,
That's
I
true.
said. He came from a bigger school. Well, Levis came from Kentucky, but I think Levis, if he would have had more guys around him, and like you said, the coaching, it would have been a different story.
I think he still could have been it was just coaching. Just Brian Callahan being a first-time head coach, I think that's what ruined that. But
yeah. We need guys who are already experienced at that position.
We need a coach that has coached before as our next coach. We can't be calling Joe Brady over here. As much as I like that choice, I just don't think that's the right choice right now. I think we need a guy like Mike McCarthy or Cliff Kingsbury, someone like that that's been in the head coaching department and knows how that works.
Yeah, not a coordinator you're going to promote to head coach. Not that. And Brian Callahan was supposedly a coordinator who didn't call the plays in Cincinnati, and we was thinking he was going to be the best guy here for offense, but no, what complete opposite. So
I think I wouldn't be mad if we ended up getting Arthur Smith back as head coach. I mean, he did coach for the Atlanta Falcons for 3 seasons, but I do think he didn't really have much to work with. You know, he had Mariota for 1 season. He had Desmond Ridder, I think his name was. And then some other guy for his final season. But he didn't have the greatest quarterbacks to work with. Now he would have Cam Ward, future all-time great, future Pro Bowler, future hopefully Super Bowl champion. I think Arthur Smith coming to Nashville, I would not be down on that.
I really don't want nobody who already been here. I want new. We need a new scheme, especially now. This scheme we got now is horrific. So we
love Wildcat here.
Yeah, so all of a sudden. So yeah, I want some new guys here.
I did see a reporter ask that question to Mike McCoy in the press conference after the game. They said, "Why call Wildcat if it didn't work the 4 other times before you called it?" He said, "Well, the defense stopped it."
These retarded answers aren't going to get you nowhere. Like, this is why you're not going to have a job here next year. Like, if you're still on this staff next year, then we have a problem. Like, there's no way. Like, these answers are just, the media make you look stupid. That's the whole point of media, to make you look stupid and make you give dumb answers. And he's falling right into the trap. Like, come on now, so, yeah.
Yeah, and we will now be moving into our Titans Mount Rushmore as Luke will be joining us here. We'll talk about who we think is the top 4 Titans quarterback in all of Titans Oilers history, because the Oilers is a part of our history, not the Texans.
Yeah,
no. But we will now be moving into the Mount Rushmore. Now, diving into our next segment, we will be going through the podcast's first ever Titans Mount Rushmore, where we'll be going down our top 4 Titans quarterbacks in Titans history. Is it going to be Marcus Mariota, Will Levis, Steve McNair? Who knows? It's going to start Fluke.
All right, so starting off, number 4 for me, it took some thought. I was between Mariota and Dan Pastorini, but looking at their stats, Pastorini, he was just great. He was well ahead of the passing quarterback archetype, too, in the 70s and stuff. So number 4 for me is Dan Pastorini.
That's a good pick right there. My number 4 would probably be, I'm going to go with Vince Young. He didn't have the greatest team around him, which it's kind of looking like Cam Ward might be following in that footsteps. Hopefully not. We're going to see where that goes. But Vince Young, I felt like he was a really good prospect coming out of college. I think he did perform in those first few years, but just because the team around him and the coaching, he never lived up to the hype. But I do think he had his moments, and I think he deserves a spot in the top 4 Titans quarterback in all of history. Who's your number 4, Sean?
Number 4? I'm going to go Mariota.
Mariota?
Yeah. Mariota, that's an interesting pick.
I'm going to Mariota. He was good while he lasted. He was overhyped when he came here, but he picked up over time and, took us to the championship games 2019, and after that, kind of fell off. But he's back doing something for the Commander, so.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of fallen in the footsteps of a bunch of other Titans quarterbacks. You think of Jake Locker, you think of Vince Young, you think of they didn't have people good around him, Yeah. So I think that's a very solid pick. Who do you have for your number 3, Luke?
Up next, I got the one, the only, Ryan Tannehill. He's completely underrated with how mobile of a quarterback he is. I think he was a great quarterback from 2019. He served his purpose, took us to the AFC Championship. And he did ride his course out. Toward the end of his Titan career, he wasn't very good at all. But I still think for that AFC Championship run and the games he played and how good he was from that 2019 to 2021 window, look at what he got the number 1 seed with. Absolutely nobody. I think he's my number 3 in Titans history.
I completely agree with you. My number 3 is also going to be Ryan Tannehill. He pretty much made a legacy in just 1 season, which is hard to do in the NFL. If you think about it, we had Marcus Mariota starting with that season. I think it was the first 4, 5, 6, 7 games. We had Mariota. He kind of was on a downfall there. But when Ryan Tannehill came in, he showed some stuff, especially with that first game in Carolina. I think they might have lost that game, but they did come out strong after that. Ended up getting the 6th seed in the playoffs, and that's when we had the breakout of Derrick Henry. But I think Ryan Tannehill alone, he deserves a spot in the 3rd best Titans quarterback in all of history.
I agree. Ryan Tannehill for sure, man. He was a dog. Like Luke said, he was mobile. For his age and his build, he can run a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Tanny, like, oh my God, it was amazing seeing him
Brings
play,
back memories, man.
It does for sure. After the team collapsed, he couldn't do nothing no more, and his time's running out. So, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is Steve McNair. Air McNair. He was a tough quarterback, a mobile quarterback, the most recent Titan to win the MVP. That was in 2003 when he was with Peyton Manning. He led us to the Super Bowl and came up a yard short of the Titans' only Super
Why'd you
Bowl
have to mention
that
that?
they've been in. But nonetheless, he was a gritty quarterback. He started with the Oilers. When we moved to Tennessee, he came with us. He was great. I didn't like the way his career ended with the Baltimore Ravens. But other than that, he's a top 2 quarterback in our franchise history, but he's number 2.
I do agree with you on how McNair did set the tone and all that, but he's not going to be my number 2. We're going to wait later and see who I have for my number 1. But number 2 will be Warren Moon for me. He was a standout quarterback for the Houston Oilers. I think he still holds the record to this day of most passing yards in a Titans passing season. And he just was really good. We had the number retired, number 1 for Warren Moon, and now he unretired it and gave Cam permission to live up that legacy and take a part of that hold. We're gonna have to wait and see if Cam lives up to the hype, which I think he will. Another wait and see scenario there, but my number 2 is Warren Moon.
That's a good one. Hey, my number 2 probably be Vince Young. I don't know. I like Vince Young. Yeah, he was definitely talented. I never thought he'd be a Titan, but he's definitely talented for sure. So,
Yeah.
All right. And my number 1, going back to the well that Nate just hit at, give me the legend, the Canadian gunslinger, Warren Moon. Led us to AFL championships back in the day. Holds pretty much every passing record, like all time for the Titans. He was one of the best passers of his generation, one of the best quarterbacks of his generation, and the best quarterback of our franchise's history.
I disagree with you on that last statement. Warren Moon was great, but I do think he still was a step under Air McNair. I think he is the greatest Titans quarterback in history. I still think to this day he's the greatest Titans player in all of the Oilers-Titans history. Just that toughness he brought to the table, just the accuracy, the power that he had at the quarterback position. I think that's still something teams desire today is a quarterback like him and that style that he played. How he's the only ever quarterback to lead the Titans to this Super Bowl. That I think he is the best for a reason. That's one of the main reasons. But that's just a short view on why Steve McNair is the greatest quarterback in this team's history so far.
I agree with that for sure. Steve McNair, man. Sad way to see his career end, and then he ended up passing away to some crazy stuff. So.
Yeah, and he had
crazy.
to, Baltimore Ravens just falling down the same path that Derrick Henry went down. So hate to see Henry going down that history as well. So that is going to wrap up our Titans Mount Rushmore for the first week of we're doing the Mount Rushmores, and we will see y'all in a little bit for our predictions going into Week 10 around the league. Titans on the bye week this week. We do have one international game, so we got a Sunday morning game, and now we are going to jump over to that. Now moving into our Week 10 predictions of the NFL season this season. We're going to start out with Week 10, Thursday Night Football. We have the 2-6 Las Vegas Raiders taking on the 7-2 Denver Broncos in Denver. Who do you have here, Luke?
Well, first of all, let me start off by saying last week was not my best performance. I did very bad last week. Nate, of course, won. Sean came in second. But this is a new week. It's early in the season. And I'm going to get back on track here with this pick. Give me the Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride on Thursday night.
I agree with you. The Raiders, they gotten better last week. I do believe they put up a good fight against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brock Bowers with an amazing game this week. Didn't start him in fantasy this week, sadly. Started George Kittle over him. But, all of us have those choices that we make. But I do have the Broncos getting the win here. I think Bo Nix has a great game this week. I think Broncos will keep things rolling and move on to 8-2, and they will hold on to that division title a whole nother week.
I disagree. Well, for the upset, the Raiders are going to win. The Broncos struggled versus the Texans this last game, and they're not that good. So I think the Raiders can pull off a win here. Sorry, Boston, audio guy, background. I'm going for the Raiders today, this game.
That's a take for sure. That's a take and a
Raiders.
half. But moving on to the next game, we have starting in the Sunday games. We do have a Sunday morning game, international game in Berlin, Germany. We have the 3-5 Atlanta Falcons taking on the 7-2 Indianapolis Colts. Who do you have here, Luke?
The Colts are frauds. Daniel Jones
Yep.
is not in the MVP talks. He is not that good. Jonathan Taylor, his production can only go downhill from where it's at. Give me the upset here across the pond. Give me the Atlanta Falcons to get back on track.
I'm going to agree with you again. I do not think the Colts are a good football team. They showed that in the Pittsburgh Steelers game all season long. I was saying that Indianapolis Colts, they're frauds. They are no good. They are not a good football team. They had their moments, of course. They had Jonathan Taylor with a few good games, and Daniel Jones did have his moments, but he's now back over here for scaredy eyes, looking back and forth at the defense, looking over at T.J. Watt. So I do have the Atlanta Falcons getting the win. I think James Pierce will make an impact for that Atlanta team, and that Atlanta defense is going to show up and show out against the Indianapolis Colts and get a huge win over the Indianapolis Colts.
I agree with both of y'all, but I think the Colts are going to win still. They're not going to lose back-to-back. They're going to fix some things up in practice and get back to it. The Falcons are a worse team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was a tough game for them for sure, but I'm going to go Colts.
All right. Now moving into our next game, we have starting with the noon games, we have the 2-6 Cleveland Browns traveling to New York to take on the 1-7 New York Jets. Who do you have here, Luke?
Man, they should flex this game to like 6 a.m. on Tuesday. No one's watching this football game. But the Browns got a great defense, and for that reason, I'm picking the Browns.
I agree with you. The Browns, their offense lately has been relying a lot on rookie running back Quinshon Judkins. I think the Browns will get another win here, move to 3-6 as they try to pass up the Cincinnati Bengals in their division. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Browns.
Yeah. So then up next, another noon game. We have the 5-3 Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Houston to take on the Houston Texans, who are 3-5. Who do you have here, Luke?
An AFC divisional matchup, I don't know. C.J. Stroud, he went down with that concussion. I kind of think he's going to be out this week. And if he's out this week, I don't trust Davis Mills to get the job done. As much as I don't think the Jaguars are a good team, I'm going to have to pick Jacksonville just because of the injury to C.J. Stroud.
I agree with you there. The Jaguars, I think they're going to have things rolling in this Texans win. I think they will have a pretty big win by a few points. I think the Jaguars get the job done over here in Houston against the Houston Texans.
Yeah, Jaguars easily. That's easy.
Yeah. Up next, we have an AFC East divisional showdown. We have the 6-2 Buffalo Bills taking on and traveling to the 2-7 Miami Dolphins.
Man, they hyped me up an AFC East divisional showdown. And it's the Miami Dolphins. Nope, next, give me the Bills.
Bills easily, no contest. You've seen how the Bills competed with the Kansas City Chiefs last night. That could have been a playoff game. It was a great game to watch.
Nice.
But I do have Josh Allen having a huge game here and just making nothing out of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, that's an easy win for the Bills. In the divisional match, yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, moving into our next pick, this is a really good game for a noon game. We have the 7-2 New England Patriots traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the 6-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Man, all right, we've been clowning the last couple of games, but this is a good game, Nate. The Buccaneers, coming off of a bye week, they're nice and rested. Maybe they'll get some guys back that were very injured before the bye week. And the New England Patriots and Mike Vrabel, who's making Amy Adams-Strunk look like an idiot every single week. This is honestly a pick 'em, but I'm going to pick the Buccaneers, and I'm going to pick Baker Mayfield.
I'm going to agree with you. I think the Buccaneers do get the win here. I think Emeka Egbuka will get back to his upside having in his rookie year. I think Baker Mayfield will have a huge bounce back game. I think the Buccaneers get a win here.
Nah, I'm still going Patriots, man. Patriots are rolling. They're going to keep rolling to the playoffs, so I'm going Patriots, man.
The question is, though, Sean, do you think they will beat the Bills in their division and win that division?
That's a great question. They have a chance, though.
Yeah, but
I'm still going to go for the Bills, but they have a chance.
Moving into the next segment, we have the 2-7 New York Giants taking on the 5-3 Chicago Bears, who put up 42 points against the Cincinnati Bengals last week.
Man, Jackson Dart's looking good, though. I feel like the Bears just stumble into success. I feel like they're a lazy team who isn't very consistent with the fundamentals. Give me the G-Men to upset the Bears.
I'm going to disagree with you. I have the Chicago Bears getting a win here as they still try to chase down and get atop of that NFC North division. I think Caleb Williams will have a huge game here. I think the Chicago Bears get the job done here at home in Chicago.
Oh, it's at home, Chicago? I'm going to go Bears. After that win they just got with the Bengals, I'm going to go Bears.
And I think Ben Johnson looks to be a great head coach for them going forward as well.
Yeah.
Up next, we have the 3-5 Baltimore Ravens taking on the 4-4 Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota after a huge win over the Detroit Lions.
Minnesota's a tough place to play. They just beat the team who I had number 1 in my power rankings. But, man, the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar back are a scary team to play. And every game is a must-win for the Ravens right now, so give me the Baltimore.
I'm going to disagree with you. I have the Minnesota Vikings getting a huge win over the Ravens. I do think the Ravens will have a good game here with Lamar and Henry. I just think the Ravens they undervalue Titans legend running back Derrick Henry. They're not giving him enough carries to which I think they would succeed in. I think if they gave him about double the carries that he's getting now, they would be a successful football team, but they're not having success right now. So just based off that alone, give me the Minnesota Vikings here.
I agree with that point, but I would still go the Ravens. They, like Luke said, they a must-win game for them. They have to keep winning to get back on track. So I'm going to go Ravens for sure.
That's a fair pick. Heading into the next game, we have the 1-8 New Orleans Saints traveling to Carolina to take on the 5-4 Carolina Panthers.
Oh, everything tells me that Tyler Shuck is bad and Bryce Young looks to be good, but this is just a scary trap game. The Panthers are coming off of the high of the season, beating the Packers, but I think they're a young team. They're an inconsistent team. They're going to hang their heads high, and they're not going to be prepared for the Saints coming into town. Give me the New Orleans Saints to get the win.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think the Panthers had a pretty good game. I have the Panthers getting the win here, and Panthers will move on to 6-4 on the year.
I got Panthers. The Saints are just unbelievably bad. The Titans are bad too, but the Saints are just bad. Like, we get more hate than the Saints do, and they're just as bad as us. So I'm going to go Panthers for sure.
Yeah, hot take. I think the Saints are a worse team than the Titans.
I agree.
But we will see how that goes when the Titans play the Saints later this year. It's going to make us look like total idiots when the New Orleans Saints come in here and put up 75 points against us. So.
The one pick's on the line for that game.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Actually, what was that game? Is it here in Tennessee, right?
What, the Saints? Yeah, it's here.
I'm not going to the game, bro.
It's going to be a cold day in Nashville, though.
It's cold. Yeah, that's true.
You can probably get tickets for like $6.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably even lower, to be honest. I've seen for that Seahawks game coming up, the cheapest ticket's like $5 right now.
Heck, can't
Wait,
be
is that here?
Yeah.
We'll get demolished. I'm not going to that.
Yeah. Moving into the next game, it's going to be the start of the 3 o'clock games this Sunday. We have the 2-5, as of now, Arizona Cardinals. This is being recorded before Monday Night Football, so I imagine they would lose to the Dallas Cowboys, but you never know in the NFL.
Thanks.
But they are 2-5 currently, taking on the 6-2 top 5 team Seattle Seahawks in Seattle.
Nate, first of all, I'm sorry I ever criticized you on your takes for the Seattle Seahawks. They are a good team. I don't think they're a top 5, but I think they're a good football team. Give me the Seahawks.
Seahawks get a huge win here. They just put up, 38 points against the Washington Commanders last
21
night.
first half, I think.
Yeah. I got the Seahawks getting a pretty comfortable win here with Sam Darnold keeping things rolling for them.
Yeah, I agree. Seahawks, yeah. Nate, you was right about the Seahawks. I didn't think that was that good, but they are rolling. JSN is a great receiver they got in.
Sam Darnold being very underrated.
Accurate. Yeah, facts, yeah.
Moving into the next 3 o'clock games, we have the 5-3 Detroit Lions taking on the 3-6 Washington Commanders at home in Washington. Who do you have here, Luke?
Detroit Lions. The Commanders are walking into a hornet's nest right here. I mean, Lions, they're angry. Give me the Detroit Lions.
I'm going to agree with you. I don't think the Commanders will get much rolling here, especially if Jaden Daniels most likely not playing in this game. I mean, Mariota is a pretty good quarterback, but I don't think he's good enough to get a win over the Detroit Lions after suffering an embarrassing loss against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I want Lions. That should be an easy win for the Lions.
Yeah.
After getting upset, they should come back and mount that for a win. So, yeah.
Now moving in, we have another really good game this week. It's at 3 o'clock. It's the 6-2 Los Angeles Rams traveling to San Francisco to take on the 6-3 San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco.
I feel like Brock Purdy's been 1 week away from coming back for the past 2 months. I think he is going to come back this week, but I think he's going to be a little rusty. Give me Stafford and give me the Rams.
I'm going to agree with you once again. I think the Rams get the job done. After suffering a loss to them earlier in the season, I think the Rams get the job done here, and I think they will keep things rolling as they try to pass up the Seattle Seahawks in their division. I got the Rams.
I got Rams. They're a very well put together team, and they're going to keep going. So
they showed why here in Nashville a few weeks ago, too.
Yeah.
Now moving into the next primetime game, Sunday Night Football. We have the 5-3 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Los Angeles to take on the 6-3 Los Angeles Chargers.
You know, the Steelers, they coming off of a win against a great team in the Indianapolis Colts, or at least what we thought was a great team in the Indianapolis Colts. And the Chargers, they underimpressed against the Titans, and they lost 2 of their offensive linemen to an already depleted offensive lineman core. Give me the Steelers on Sunday Night Football.
I'm going to agree again. I think the Chargers didn't look the greatest against an embarrassingly bad Tennessee Titans team. I think the Steelers get a win here, and I think they get it pretty comfortably.
I'm going to stick with Chargers. I think they can find a way to win.
Think they have a bounce back?
Yeah, even though the Titans kept up with them, but yeah, I'm going to stick with Chargers, yeah.
All right. Now moving into the next game, Monday Night Football. We have the 6-2 Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Green Bay to take on the 5-2-1 Green Bay Packers.
Man, the Eagles, I think they have figured it out. Coming off of a bye, Nick Sirianni's a good coach. The Packers they lost Tucker Kraft for the season. That just came out right before we went on air. Give me the Eagles on Monday night.
I agree. This is going to be a hot take, but I don't think the Packers are a good football team with their losses coming to the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers and a tie to the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Packers are kind of struggling here around the middle of the season. Give me the Eagles getting a big win here.
Yeah, I want Eagles. The Packers, it's like 1 week they look good, and the next week they look bad. They can't be consistent, so it's like I'm going to definitely go Eagles here off bye week for sure, so Eagles.
Give me the Titans to lose this week, 55-0 against the bye.
Yeah, they're going to lose like probably 20 players because apparently they just like to hand out players to teams for like 6th-round picks.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we're going to own the 6th round, though.
They better not trade Devondre Sweat. I keep hearing his name around there. They better not trade him.
I feel the same way about Sugarcoating. I feel like as soon as we go off the air here, I almost can guarantee you I'm going to get a notification Chig's been traded for a 7th-round pick. And, I'm not going to be happy about that.
I'm the opposite. I don't think either one of them are good. Get rid of Okonkwo. Get rid of Devondre Sweat.
What?
Let's own the 6th and 7th round.
What? No way you think Sweat's not good or Okonkwo? Okay, Sweat, okay, I see that point, but Okonkwo, Chig? No way, bro.
I mean,
no way.
I don't think we're going to be able to pay him. I think we already got Gunnar
We got
Helm.
a lot of money.
Gunnar Helm's looking good.
That's true. I do like Gunnar Helm.
But is he going to want to come back to the Titans?
Who, Chig?
Yeah.
I would want to say so, but I don't know.
What player on our roster that's up for contract is going to want to come back to Tennessee?
That's true.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Tony Pollard, I'm not anything
don't care
against
if it's
him.
Pollard.
I kind of hope he does get traded. I want to see Tajay Spears improve and try to transition into that running back 1 feature. Yeah. I think Spears could be a pretty good running back for us here in Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree with that point. Pollard can go. So.
Yeah, we have our results from last week. We have, let's see. Our results, we have Luke on the season now. Or no, this was for just this week, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so this week we have the updated records. We have Luke coming out with 4 total games right, 9 wrong. And then me with 8 games right, 5 wrong. And then Sean in second with 7 games right and 6 wrong. So that's the updated predictions, I guess you could say prediction points going into Week 10. And now we will be transitioning into giving our picks for Titan of the Week following the Titans' 7-point loss to the Los Angeles Chargers this week. Now going into our picks for Titan of the Week, We're going to go through who we think was the best performer on the team this year, or not this year, this game, and who outshined all the other players and showcasing their name this week against the Los Angeles Chargers. Who do you have here, Luke?
In the absence of Jeffrey Simmons, the Titan of the week this week, for me, has got to be Draymond Jones. 4 games now in a row that he's recorded a sack. In this game, he had a sack and a half, 4 total tackles, 2 of which were solo, and 1 was a tackle for loss. He was instrumental in the Titans' defensive success this game, and it felt like he was hurrying Justin Herbert just about every single time. Give me Draymond Jones, the Titan of the week.
Draymond Jones did have a pretty good game this game, I'm not going to lie. He got there was a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert, to be honest. It felt like he was running for his life out there. Kind of looked like the Titans' offensive line over there for the Chargers, but I'm going to disagree with you for my pick for Titan of the week. I'm going to go with Titans rookie 3rd-round pick Chimere Dike, having a great game with kickoff returns and punt returns. Kickoffs, he had 4 total kickoff returns, going for 117 yards. His longest return was 31 yards. Punt returns, he had 3 punt returns, total for 98 yards, and taking one to the house for the 67-yard touchdown run against the Los Angeles Chargers. He also did his part in the passing game. He did get 1 catch for 5 yards. He did have 2 games back-to-back where he did have a pretty good receiving game. This week wasn't his week in the receiving, but I think just let alone his performance in the special teams unit, I think that does deserve him to be Titan of the week this week.
And, he might even be an all-pro after the season's over. He's by far the best kickoff returner so far this season, so I'm not even considering, Pro Bowl. I'm thinking he might be an all-pro his first year.
He's really impressed me, and I think if they do find ways to use him in the offensive plans and all that, I think you might be looking at like a Puka Nacua style player for the Titans there, because you could transition in him to getting some carries as running back if needed. And he's that player that you can create a lot of trick plays there, especially after that 6-7 yard touchdown run.
6-7. Hey, where did he come from? Like, what school he came from?
Who? Chimere Dike?
Yeah.
Florida.
Oh, okay, yeah. Of course, Florida got talent. So I think my player of the week would be Alec Manor. He has a lot of potential here in Tennessee. I hope we don't get rid of him like we do with the other draft. He had 3 receptions, 46 yards. He was averaging 15.3, so keep giving him the ball.
There's one thing I do got to say about Alec. He did have a couple of bad drops in that game. Yeah. There was a couple where it's put right in his hands, didn't come up with the ball there, which, receivers have those type of games, but he did find ways. I do agree if he had a pretty good game this week.
Exactly.
But if they game plan around him and Chimere more, I think maybe they could get a win against the Houston Texans coming out of the bye week.
The Titans had a really good draft class this year. Think about it. They got A.O. Manor, DK. They got Gunnar Ham, 3 offensive weapons, really good. We'll see how Cam Ward does, but if Cam Ward turns out to be
future
good,
MVP,
this could be one of the
greatest
best draft
quarterback of all time
classes the Titans have had ever.
Yeah. If we don't get rid of everybody.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? We just, hopefully we keep these guys around for the future, so.
I just do want to note here, Cam Ward did have a great game this week. He was the honorable mention for me. He had 21 total passing attempts, 12 of those completed, 145 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. But, he had players around him that really wasn't performing to the best of the ability. Yeah. He also had 2 carries for 6 yards on the ground. Really good game for Cam Ward. Did take 4 sacks for a total of 27 yards. He did the best he could, let's just say that, against a really bad Tennessee team.
I will say, though, for the past couple of weeks, I've just been defending everyone who's saying, the Titans are ruining Cam Ward. I've been defending and saying, no, Cam Ward's not ruined. This week was the first week that I saw some glimpses of Cam Ward being ruined. The first one is that 3rd and long, a throw that he just missed Van Jefferson by 5 yards too short. Cam Ward thought he was running out of time in the pocket, so he jumped and tried to sidearm it because he thought he had no time in the pocket. The thing is, Cam Ward's starting to play a little scared because our offensive line is so bad and just giving up so many sacks. He's sort of starting to play scared, and I think you can see it in his play now.
But I do think with his bye week coming up, I think that will help that for him going into more pocket presence awareness. And I think he will be able to get some more team bonding time, especially with Mike McCoy. I think as of now, I think they should get a win over the Houston Texans going into next week.
Yeah.
I think if they play like they did this week, hold on.
Hold on.
Apparently, we love wildcat formations. We love them. Let's run it every third down. Let's run it 4th and goal at the 1 yard line. Let's surrender a touchdown because we want Tajay Spears to play quarterback for the day and Cam Ward not knowing what he's doing. We have him over here looking for the ball and blocking at the same time. You need to have plays like that where you know what you're doing. Wildcat does not work 100% of the time, Mr. Bo Hardegree.
It's a trick play for a reason.
You don't call it. You don't spam hit A on the controller for Wildcat formation like you're playing Madden.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. After the season, get rid of that whole offensive coach staff and the defense. I don't give a who you. I bet. I don't care what you get rid of. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Oh, bro.
But that is going to wrap up this episode of the Titan Talk podcast. I do want to thank you guys for watching, as we will see y'all next week for Texans next week here in Nashville. And we will see how the Texans do next week in their game. But thank you all for watching, and we will see y'all next week.
Peace out.